The Electoral Reform Committee would like the government to design a system of proportional representation, where the number of votes a party gets would correspond with the number of seats they would get in the House.
The way Canadians vote should be reflected as closely as possible in the composition of their parliament.
Then the committee is calling on the government to hold a referendum where people can vote for the current first-past-the-post system or the new system of proportional representation.
The bottom line for the Conservatives was there must be a referendum before you go forward.
The committee said no to some ideas. They don't want to use a system where seats are filled automatically from a party's hand-picked list. They want voters to keep some connection to their own MP. They've said no to mandatory voting and also no to online voting. But they do want voting to be more accessible, encourage more people to vote, and more women to run for office.
We did our job to help the government fulfill its promise. Now it's time for them to get to work.
The report sparked some lively exchanges in the House.
The only consensus that the report found was that there is no consensus on the hard choices that we'd asked the committee to make. Mr. Speaker, they took a pass.
The insults just keep coming from the other side of the House. The problem here is that the Prime Minister doesn't want to listen to Canadians. He doesn't want to listen to the other parties, just like he won't have a referendum because he thinks the Canadians aren't smart enough.
The honourable member wants us to have a referendum on the following. Would Canadians like to take the square root of the sum of the squares of the difference between the percentage of the seats for each party and the percentage of the votes cast?
Can the minister tell us when the government will announce a clear plan and timetable to implement all of the committee's recommendations?
While they did not complete the hard work we had expected them to, this is consistent with what we heard from Canadians. We will continue.
I want to say I appreciate the feedback, but